soda sure tastes better, right? Are you really thirsty? Yeah? Are you going to play now? You going back in to play? Go get him. Look at him, he's like a little man. Daniel. She was scared. I mean, you say something stupid, you deserve something. Well, the line starts back there. Yeah? Here's $2. It starts here. I like that. Give me a hot dog. You're right. We was cracking up walking away. soft. Soft mash. You know, he's like meat mash.
I know, you gotta keep
He's
her.
like that too. You pick him up, he's like,
You gotta keep her active.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, you regret it if you don't. You gotta keep her going.
And that's why we were putting her in that
Swimming.
gymnastics on Mondays and swimming classes on Saturdays.
You need that. You need that. How you like it inside there? Pretty good? Oh, climb up the mountain? Where? Up that mountain?
Well, tell Catherine to help you. Where's Catherine?
I don't think I can go in there.
You can go in there, mira ese para allá.
You gotta take your shoes off.
stutter has got to be one of the most stigmatizing disabilities invented by God.
A Photoshop printer. It won't turn on.
I was made fun of through elementary school, through middle school, through high school. I got my nose fractured because I went to slap a guy who made fun of me.
I tried calling you before and I get hung up on. Hello?
It's very humiliating. My right arm is always very painfully tense. I went through my entire childhood in pain because I couldn't move my muscles.
Yes, I must.
I am a widowed young mother with 4 children. Tristan is 9, Jade is 6, Ulysses is 4, and Fiona's 2. They're amazing, and I want them to know how amazing they are and to know that I love them.
My kids are spending the night with their grandmother.
The first time I realized that cannabis helped me was the first time I smoked it. It's been 3 days since I smoked. I am hoping to find something in Kansas City. I smoke to be the mother my children deserve because they're really cool kids.
Drug use is an act of human misery. People take drugs to make themselves feel better or to escape. The genesis of the problem is in the consumer. And as long as there's consumption, there'll be a need for strict oversight. Because without that, society certainly can perish. But for the DEA and for our partners, victory is one step at a time. When you look at it through the years, you realize that we have been victorious. And that pendulum of success is more on our side than their side.
Okay, yesterday we were flying over a ridge or a ridge line. Ended up being at least 2,000 plants in this drainage, about 3 miles that way. They're all in rows underneath the brush. A couple thousand plants. We're gonna come in from the southwest. We're gonna go off a little cul-de-sac, off of residential housing like townhomes, small homes. Be quiet going in, no talking. You know, we see anything, hand signals. Pay attention to me going in. As usual, we want to make sure that they're not in there and be covert when we get in there. If we have to chase somebody, so we're going to go and make the arrest and chase them no matter how long.
down to a whisper. This is the very beginning of it. That was, you know. It's like 3/4 mile like this. The water line goes back down here. Pulling straight out of the drainage. About 600 yards that way is that culvert I was talking about. But this isn't 5. This is closer, probably 10. We got everybody. Where's more?
Secure the perimeter. Try to move quietly. We're going to go to the very far end of the garden, secure that, and then come back.
I lied. It's not 2,000 plants. It's going to be like 10,000 plants.
On December 16th, U.S. Armed Forces invade Panama and bring to an end the 7-year dictatorship of Manuel Antonio Noriega.
I got into infantry, and I really loved it. I was in battle. Probably the hottest situation was the capturing of Noriega in Panama. The Marines went in, we were fire support, and it was just brutal. Nine men lost that day. It's something that you don't want to witness. It's horrible. That is part of my post-traumatic stress.
Pressure washer contractor. I basically wash commercial and residential and industrial buildings. Make everything clean.
I suffered some very horrible post-traumatic stress as a child. When I was 7, I had a very traumatic incident happen to me. Me and my sister actually in a restaurant down off DeSoto Avenue in LA, California. My dad was a mob investigator for the LA County Sheriff's Department, and my mom worked as a secretary for Litton Industries. My mom and my dad had been separated partially because my father had a bad pill and alcohol problem. So we got together to kind of discuss the divorce, and also me and my sister have birthdays that are close, so we figured we'd celebrate me and my sister's birthday, and my parents would talk about the divorce, so we got together in this restaurant. When my dad got off duty, popped a bunch of pills, met us at the restaurant, an argument ensued. He stood up, no hesitation, pulled out his service revolver, stuck it right on her forehead, and that was the last anybody was to see of her head. Her head ended up all over me and my sister. The body just basically collapsed on me, and I just went empty. I was like a balloon, I deflated. My post-traumatic stress is horrible. I've had a horrible life. The saving factor was that I found pot. It saved me, saved my life. My nightmares were gone. I had no recollection of any vivid details of a lot of the horrible trauma I've suffered in my life. And it wasn't brain surgery, I knew it was the pot. You go off your medicine for a year, you're gonna have some serious complications. And there was from me going off it a year. It was all of a sudden, I'm off my post-traumatic stress medicine, and I totally went depressive. I totally went in the shell. I totally wanted to not be a living entity on this earth. I got consumed that much. I like those choices that California gives me, that I'm able to take the medicine I want to take. It's totally an incredible feeling to go to a pharmacy that prescribes marijuana to a patient for what ails you. Good afternoon. Hi, how you doing? Good, how you doing? They aren't pharmacies as most people know them. They're basically a pharmacy that just deals in marijuana products, i.e. hash, hash oil, edibles, and smokables. How you doing? Good, how are you? The one that I prefer to go, which is Horta Farm in Santa Barbara, California, is very professionally ran. It's the Starbucks of the marijuana pharmacies.
You're looking for indicas, right? For your...
I'd like to look for something, maybe a sativa for in the morning to get me going, a little bit of an up energy.
Well, I'll tell you what, for sativas right now, what I'm using, during the day to kind of stay a little bit more clear-headed is this Super Silver Haze.
And that's dominant sativa?
Yeah, that's a sativa dominant hybrid.
Oh, very nice. Very fragrant with a little bit of a fruit.
And this is a pretty good batch.
This is very,
People are starting to see more and more how effective and viable cannabis is as a treatment option for their various illnesses. I think that a lot of dispensaries are going to be popping up all over the country.
Well, I would like to try a little of the Bubba Kush for the evening, and I think I'd prefer like a little of the Super Silver Haze for the morning.
Okay, great.
The EA doesn't like to use the word dispensaries, but for whatever, that's the word that's attached to it. But the fact of the matter is, they're marijuana distribution centers. This is essentially what they are. And they're public nuisance.
All right, Josh. Thank you, sir.
Hey.
What we've been able to determine in our dispensary investigations, these are not people coming out in wheelchairs, on crutches. These are not people that meet the dying, the sick, and the injured. Those are not the type of individuals that are going into dispensaries and that are coming out of dispensaries with the marijuana.
We know a lot more about marijuana than we did 30 years ago. We know that it savages short-term memory, it affects ability to concentrate, it affects motor skills, and now we have brain imaging which shows that it affects the developing brain, which is why the National Institute of Drug Abuse has so much concern about it. This stuff is dangerous. It is something that can really affect your life permanently.
There are hundreds of thousands of Americans, maybe more, for whom marijuana is a medicine, nothing more, nothing less. And the notion that those people should be criminalized, that those people should be denied legal access to an effective medication, especially a medication which has such an incredibly high safety margin relative to so many legal drugs, that's morally offensive.
The other side of the marijuana issue, they're sort of forced into arguing that marijuana is really okay in the same way that I'm forced into the idea of saying, no, marijuana is terrible. Because this bumper sticker mentality in the public debate, which wants to see things as black or white, when they really aren't black or white. They're more complicated than that.
My ex-mother-in-law, she actually came with me to the head shop today to buy the pipe.
I'd love to see what he's got in there. I've never been in the place.
Yeah, you've been by it, but...
yeah, it'd be interesting to see what he's got inside there.
Yeah. What's your experiences with marijuana over the years? Have you ever come across it? Have you ever had it?
My son had it.
And did you find him?
Your ex-husband
Did
had
you find
it
him
home.
using it, or you found it in the room?
No, I found it in the house and I threw it out on him. See it? Yeah. Ethnic concepts.
Okay.
Right here.
There we go.
That's it.
Okay. Oh God. My legs have had it today. Oh, it smells good.
Oh, it smells nice in here.
Doesn't it? Actually, I should get some incense and stuff. Wow. Big t-shirts and everything. Neat. I was amazed by all the different pipes and things that they have. Hello. I have to sit.
I had spoken to other people, gotten advice on what's the best, because I don't know, what works good. So I've heard that a glass pipe burns well. Are these glass pipes?
They're all glass pipes.
Oh, they're all glass, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
From like
'cause-
18 to 30 in this case.
Okay, yeah.
There's red.
Yeah. Thank you. That's cute. Okay. Oh, yes. That was the cute one. They're all glass.
They were all glass.
Yeah.
That was
Bigger.
a nice one.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
Pretty. Deepest on the show.
Can you explain to me how to use it? Now that I've picked out a pretty one and a pouch.
This is a carb, and you put your finger over the carb, your thumb.
What's it called?
A carburetor.
Oh, carburetor. Okay.
So you're gonna hold that, you're gonna light it, and then you let it go to release the smoke into your mouth.
Oh, so you don't have to inhale, basically.
Well, yeah, you do inhale. You inhale the whole time.
So I light it. Okay.
And then it'll clear out.
Okay.
Have a nice day.
Yeah, you too. My goodness, there's still a lot of stuff, huh? Jeez.
Basically, this garden's a lot bigger than we expected. This grow is probably 600 yards wide and 80 yards long. In another month, when these things triple in size, all of them are going to be touching. It's going to look like a giant lawn. The plant's just now starting to mature. You're actually starting to see some of the little buds or flowers starting to form. Each one has their own water line. It is an ambitious undertaking to come and put this many plants this close to civilization and figure they're going to get away with it. If we go low and we say that there's 5,000 plants here, it's a lot of money. Well,
there's always going to be drug users. If there's a drug user, they're going to find a way in this open, free society of ours to get drugs into the country, to grow drugs in these remote areas, until which time the good guys come. That's the DEA and all our state, local, and federal partners, people like Steve Reed, find these drugs, find these marijuana plantations, and destroy them.
And this is an amazing plant. That's a 7-8 foot plant.
The war on drugs is a wonderful symbol. And it's been around so much, it's really one word now, war on drugs. There's always been that thing.
Look at that puppy. Beautiful plant.
So much of life is based on random continuances from the past. Like there are these jugs in Cyprus, and you can see the men building them, and they have these blobs on them. Just these blobs. And you ask, well, Vasiliki, why are you putting those blobs on? And he says, well, that's just the way we've always done it. It turns out that if you excavate in this area, the blobs used to be female breasts. It used to be a woman. And then gradually over the years, there was a kind of a shorthand, and now it's just blobs. They don't know why they do it. It started out with a meaning, and then you have the blobs. And in the same way, the war on drugs is based on a lot of that sort of thing.
Whatever attack, whatever you want.
We always drag along the baggage of history to the point that we don't even know that it's baggage. And those are the kinds of policies that can be the hardest to get rid of because they seem normal.
Yeah, I gotta go. It's gonna rain on us otherwise. Bye.
You have to work within the system. That's how everything gets done. It's no joke that laws and sausages being made is something you don't want to look at, and it takes somebody on the inside to actually change it. You have to be on the inside. You have to be talking to these guys. If you could just keep C-SPAN on all day in the background and just tick these Today is the big day. Today is the day of the Hinchy vote. I have a good feeling about today. I have a good gut feeling. And then My plan for today is to try to keep my head on straight and to try to not get too discombobulated as I'm running all over the hill. Yeah, I'm going to try to ambush some congressmen. Hey. Congressman, I was wondering if you're thinking about voting in favor of the Hinchy-Rohrbacher medical marijuana amendment today.
You know, I haven't had a chance to look at it.
Okay.
But I'm going to be talking to my staff when I get back.
Any information I could provide that might help change you guys' mind, or is there anything that would change your mind, sir, that you can think of?
Nothing right now.
Yeah.
But I'll try to keep an open mind.
Well, I appreciate it, sir. I got to call you back. Hold on. Congressman Franks? Hey, Aaron Houston with the Marijuana Policy Project. How are you, sir?
Where's it?
Marijuana Policy Project.
Nice to meet you.
I'm curious, sir. Have you thought about your position on the medical marijuana amendment at all? Do you think you might vote in favor of it today?
Sure, I don't think
you don't think you will? Yeah. Thanks, Congressman. I guess my final appeal to you would be, Congressman Issa, I'm Aaron Houston with the Marijuana Policy Project.
Yes.
Wanted to ask you, sir, if there's any chance you'd take a states' rights position on the Hinchy-Rohrbacher amendment coming up today on this SSJC bill. Bye.
Who'd you lose?
Lost Larson. We've got Alex Holstein out in California. I think they've talked to your office.
Wonderful, but I haven't made my mind.
All right. Thanks, Congressman. There was something with Culberson. What happened there?
Yeah,
Right now, I'm heading to see Mark Souder and see if we can have a little chat with him. Mark Souder is a foaming at the mouth, wildly prohibitionist congressman from Indiana. My hope is to run into him and to talk to him for a minute, maybe rattle him a little bit, throw him off his game before the big vote. Congressman Souder, Aaron Houston with the Marijuana Policy Project. How are you, sir? Congressman, is there any chance you'd ever change your position on medical marijuana? Is there any chance?
There's such a thing as medical marijuana, so I would never change one.
Well, the Institute of Medicine, sir, says that there is.
Medical marijuana.
I mean, the Institute of Medicine.
No such thing.
My oldest son, Danny, was diagnosed with acute lymphocytic leukemia in 1967, the year I started to look into marijuana. He had to get cancer chemotherapeutic drugs, which he just hated it because he'd vomit, he was nauseous, he'd come home here and he'd lie for 8 hours in a bed with a bucket. My wife said to me, shouldn't we get Danny some marijuana? And I said, no, we can't do that. It's against the law. My wife protested that I objected to that. And the next time he had therapy, I went into the treatment room and they were laughing. They were having jokes. And she told me that Danny had smoked marijuana outside in the parking lot. It was just amazing to us. He not only didn't get nausea, he got off the table and he said, looked up at his mother and said, hey, can we stop for a sub sandwich on the way home? And from that time on until his death, he never had to deal with the nausea and vomiting again. And I thought, my goodness, we've got to find a way to let people like my son and like these other people who have found this useful as a medicine, something which diminishes their suffering. We've got to find a way to make it available.
I'm in downtown Kansas City looking for cannabis.
Why?
Because I hate the way that that I said better, and it's the most effective treatment that I've found. If I were to get busted buying or smoking marijuana, there's a possibility that I could lose my children.
But it's worth that risk?
I wouldn't be half the mother I am without it, because I would just be in way too much pain. So yeah, being a good mother to my children is the most important thing in the world to me.
Doing it right here.
Have a nice night.
Thanks, you too.
How much did he just give you?
Not even I have enough for maybe two bowls, and that will last me tonight and tomorrow morning.
Why has marijuana not been approved medically? Because it's not medicine. It's been anecdotal evidence. Well, you know, I could take this glass and fill it with gin and drink some and say, hey, I feel good. And that's about what medical marijuana is. The 4 or 5 people that you've talked to, well, of course they're biased toward it, but that's like asking the generals in Iraq, how's the war going? You know, you're not getting an objective forest for the trees kind of an appraisal from those people. You have to look at science, not politics, to define what is safe and effective medicine in America. I hope you catch that soundbite. That's all right.
I'm a little bit scared of paranoia side effects. You know, I've never denied this, that I've smoked as a teenager. I've tried it before, so I know somewhat about marijuana, but it was 25 years ago or more. And so I'm a little bit afraid of that, to be honest with you. Although I'm looking forward to the benefit, I'm a little afraid of, the paranoia or whatever. But we'll see. Bear with me because I really don't quite know what I'm doing. I'm going to try them. Again, I clarify and I go into this realistically, saying that I don't expect this to make me get up and walk miraculously. It's not going to do that. Okay. I don't really know. I'm going to try. This is going to be... Don't want to waste anything. Okay. Now, put my finger on the carburetor. This is what the girl said to me. My mouth in here. And this thing. Holy schmoly. See that? I remembered from my teenage years that you hold it in for a little while. But wow. Okay. Okay, I did that one wrong, but it still worked. I forgot to take my finger off the carburetor. No, it's on the carburetor. This is, you know, different. Yeah, there was more in there. Okay, now I'm gonna stop, only because I wanna see. I don't wanna do too much.
Okay.
I'm not a smoker either. Like cigarette smoker.
So tell me, what are you feeling right now?
Wow. It doesn't take long. No.
Tell me what you're feeling.
Okay, well, first of all, it was irritating here because I'm not a smoker, but what I'm feeling physically, it's weird. Not bad. My legs just feel a little, I don't know, say looser, perhaps. That's why I just said it doesn't take long. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how this works. It almost feels like, now, a lot of times I have stiffness and burning pain in my legs and feet. And it just feels, I can't even say, I still feel like a warmth, but it's not the burning pain, I call it burning pain, that I normally feel. It's like a warmth. It's not irritating, it's almost soothing, I guess.
Going through your legs?
Yep, under here and down to here. It just feels almost like a coolness compared to the burning pain. It's, you know,
Is this
honest to God.
Is this a new sensation?
Yeah.
You never felt this before?
I never did. But,
And
I feel...
long? It's been how long since you just smoked the marijuana?
Oh, gosh.
A minute?
Yeah.
2 minutes?
2 minutes. It works fast. I don't know how long it lasts. But it's finally come to the fruition, you know, the end of the road here, that I can actually do this legally in my own home in the state of Rhode Island, barring the feds coming, knocking down the door. I'm legal.
Count each individual plant, cut them below the stalks, well below, right at the dirt line, and we'll be fine. We're gonna be out here for a while. The marijuana here will be seized basically as evidence, taken to DEA's headquarters, processed, and then placed in a secured, locked facility until it can be destroyed at the appropriate time and place. This is opening. There's our campsite. This may be all that they've left behind. But you've got equipment to facilitate the grow itself, including the drip irrigation that we've seen all through the grow. And you've got a number of packages of Miracle Grow plant food, all-purpose plant food. It's possible the growers could come back. There's probably very little chance at this point to catch them. They're going to know that we were in this garden, so it's very little chance that they're going to come back. Flour tortillas, lettuce. This hasn't been there very long. That's still cold, still fresh. Pork cracklings or chicharrones. La Morena, pickled jalapeno peppers, beans, rice, more beans. Educated guests would say this is a Hispanic grow.
After about the third hit is when I began to feel the tension dissipate. It really helps my speech. I feel much calmer, much less rushed, and I feel like I can control the muscles that I couldn't control before I smoked. It's kind of nice. I don't make as many funny faces.
If we just threw the marijuana laws off the books and said, let's concentrate on cocaine, methamphetamine, and any type of drug, because there's a recognition that marijuana is not the way to go. It's not harmful. It has medicinal purposes. If that was acknowledged in this country today, I think it would have a devastating impact.
Certainly, it's possible that the 9-year-old occasionally might get stoned, and that would be more likely than it has been until now. But the problem is that we have to weigh what kind of damage we want to tolerate. And for me, an America where there was a certain danger that people might experience drugs who don't under the current regime would be preferable to one where drugs are criminalized, because the problem is that once you criminalize drugs, then you create an underground economy where drugs command a much greater price than they would otherwise because of the danger, the illegality in handling them and selling them. And as a result, you have certain communities that are vulnerable to ending up depending on that particular economy.
I think the real difference is that during the 1920s and early 30s, when Americans started talking about repealing alcohol prohibition, most of them could still remember what it was like when alcohol was legal. They could imagine it. The problem we have today is that none of us have grown up in a world in which marijuana was legal, was regulated, was sold in shops and taxed. So the change is more difficult to make because we can't picture it, we can't imagine it, and in some respects I think it's that lack of imagination of the fact that we could just make it legal and the world would not crumble.
Committee will come to order.
I don't know any thinking person in Washington, D.C. who thinks this should go on. This insane campaign against marijuana. You never meet anyone who's actually in favor of it. But everybody thinks it has to go on because they think everyone else wants it to. In the end, the absurdity of this will tell. The spell will be broken.
I think they might be voting right now. They're voting right now.
If we could find a politician who had initially the guts, but most importantly, the intelligence to see that this is the case, and make it a subject, it would immediately become the next big thing. And we would shake ourselves and wonder how and why it had taken us so long to see where our own best interests lay.
Amendment offered by Mr. Hinchey of New York.
This amendment simply has to do with the ability of states to relieve the suffering of their citizens without federal intervention and the right of states to pass laws regulating medical practice without federal intervention. Balance of my time.
That was good.
Mr. Chairman, I rise today in strong opposition to the Hinchey Amendment. Let's be clear, marijuana is not harmless, as some claim. And the message we're sending to our children today is very strong. Whether we support legal use of marijuana as a precursor to methamphetamines, to heroin, this is the message we'll be sending if we approve this. I strongly urge my colleagues to vote against this amendment.
I rise in strong support of the amendment. Our coalition of freedom-minded Republicans and Democrats on this issue is based on compassion for those who are suffering, a commitment to personal liberty, and a firm belief in the principles of federalism.
Nice. Great.
If I'm terminally ill, it isn't anybody's business on this floor how I handle the pain or the illness or the sickness associated with that illness.
I rise to oppose this amendment. I had young people work for me in my supermarket who I knew were using marijuana, and they used it for a period of years, folks, and they're not as sharp after years of marijuana use as they would have been. It dulls the brain. It holds back the growth. I have close friends and even relatives who are living less of a life than they would have if they hadn't spent years abusing marijuana. Marijuana is a dangerous drug that is not adequately respected by the young people of this country because they've been seduced by leaders in this country advocating that it's a perfect, wonderful drug.
Gentleman's time has expired.
Mr. Chairman, the arguments that have been put forth against this amendment have nothing to do with this amendment. This amendment has nothing to do with legalizing marijuana. It has to do with two simple things: being compassionate for people under the lawful provisions of laws passed in their states, and the states' rights. This Congress should recognize states' rights, live up to the provisions of the Constitution, and pass this amendment.
A sufficient number has risen, and a recorded vote is ordered, and members will record their votes.
It's the end of a long road here. Feeling pretty good. I'm cautiously optimistic. This is gonna be the longest 10 minutes of my life, man.
Here's Johnny. The plants are way too many, too vast, too large to be able to hand carry these out. It would take us all day. This is one of the few gardens that we'll use the helicopter this summer to sling it out.
We're probably going to have 50 bundles.
What happened, man? You're looking at 20 guys out here, 20 guys, and probably of those, 10 are out there every week or 3 times a week. 17. This isn't all Miami Vice. This isn't Tubbs and Crockett, you know, in silk shirts driving a Pantera or something. This is a bunch of hardworking cops making, you know, an okay living. It's not a great living, not a great wage, but out here working their tails off to make a difference for the public. Rough count, 17,000.
The tally right now is only 26 yay to 37 nay, so it's really hard to characterize the vote at this point. We only have 16 Dems voting no at this point. Four Republicans, man. It's creeping up. Whoa. Somebody changed. There's Debbie Wasserman Schultz. She's about to vote against us. Did we just lose a Dem, or was that a Republican? This is scary. Yeah. This is starting to scare me. Don't close it yet. Come on, guys.
On this vote, the yeas are 163, the nays are 259. The amendment is not agreed to. The committee will come to order.
It's a great day. It's the biggest day of the year. The DEA marijuana eradication completed another successful mission, took 20,000 marijuana plants off the street. A lot of pot, a whole lot of pot. We hurt somebody today.
Well, I got 163 yes votes. I would have wanted more votes, but it is an election year, so I think I was being really optimistic.
Still a resounding defeat, though.
It's a resounding defeat, but this is how it works. You know, you gain ground and you hold it. and you try to gain a little bit more ground. And we did gain some ground with Republicans. I'm impressed that we got, I think, 18 Republicans voting in favor of the amendment in an election year. It's not bad.
Are you spinning?
I am kind of spinning.
It's an awesome feeling. Do a good job, no one gets hurt, we go home safe, we take 20,000 plants with us.
Tomorrow I'm gonna wake up. Tomorrow, I'll wake up and get back to it, get back to the work at hand. We're not gonna give up. We're not gonna give up. We're gonna win eventually.
Tomorrow we get up and do the same thing. 20,000 plants is an awesome day. It's 20,000 plants off the street, out of the kids' hands. You know, police officers 1, crooks 0.
Hey, have a war on drugs for the bad stuff, the heavy stuff, the heroin, whatever, I don't care. But marijuana, it just seems so silly to be illegal at the federal level. It works. If people say it works and it helps them, why would you want to deny them that? Some people with cancer or AIDS, they're dying. Why are you going to make them suffer needlessly?
I fly the flag every day. I'm a patriot. I just want America to drop the stigma, to look at me. I'm hardworking, I'm a father, I'm a grandfather, I'm a businessman, I'm successful, and who am I hurting? Who am I hurting?
This is not the hysteria people make it out to be. It's people like myself, it's people older than us, it's younger people that need it medically, that are going through chemotherapy or whatever. Yeah, it's everybody in the population now. It's reaching all parts of society. We're the faces of the patient. We're the people that are suffering, that need this medicine. I'm the fortunate one that has the medicine. The person standing beside me or behind me is not that fortunate. That's what we've got to change. It's just not fair to be made a criminal to get that medicine.
I have such a wonderful life right now. Even with my struggles, even with being terrified that I'm going to lose my children. I've got the 4 most fantastic children in the entire freaking world.